What's up guys, this is Raf and welcome back. For today's video, we're taking a closer look at the Redmi 14C, the latest budget-friendly phone from Redmi. The budget smartphone market is more competitive than ever. So does the Redmi 14C have what it takes to stand out? We're going to dive into its design, display, performance, camera, battery life, and software to see if it's worth your money in 2025. Let's start with its design. At first glance, the Redmi 14C looks quite clean and modern. The back of the phone is made of plastic with its camera located on a circle island. It might fool you that it have 4 camera system, but it only have 2 camera systems. The one that we got here is the starry blue color, which have the silver to dark blue gradient finish, and it really looks good and very eye-catching. In terms of dimensions, the Redmi 14C is a bit on the larger side with a 6.8-inch screen, but it still feels comfortable to hold, especially with the rounded edges. It's not the tiniest phone out there as well, but it's not definitely too bulky. The power button also doubles as a fingerprint scanner, which is a nice touch for quick unlocks. As for the ports, the phone features a USB-C port for charging and data transfer, and a 3.5mm headphone jack, which always a plus for those who preferred wired headphones. You also find the volume buttons on the right side of the phone, making them easy to reach when holding the device, while on the left side located the SIM and memory card slot. Now, let's talk about the display. The Redmi 14C comes with a 6.8-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 1640 by 720 pixels. It does have a refresh rate of 120Hz, which is a good addition even with its price. While it's not the highest resolution around, it's definitely good for everyday use, such as browsing social media, watching videos, and reading content. The colors are fairly vibrant and the screen is fairly sharp for the price. It's not going to rival any AMOLED display, but for a budget phone, it performs well. The brightest levels are decent for indoor use, but when you step outside into direct sunlight, the display can get a bit washed out. It's still usable, though you might need to squint a little in bright environments. One of the standout features is the size of the screen. The 6.8-inch is pretty large for a budget phone. So if you like watching movies or playing games, it's a pretty solid option in this price bracket, and probably one of the best on its price range. Let's talk about the performance now. The Redmi 14C is powered by the MediaTek Helio G81 Ultra chipset, which is an octa-core processor built for budget smartphones. It's paired with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. It could also add 6GB of virtual RAM if needed, making it up to 12GB of RAM, but at the cost of using your internal storage. In real-world use, the phone handles everyday tasks like browsing, social media, and video streaming with ease, and navigating through interface feels relatively smooth. For casual gaming, the G81 Ultra does a decent job. I tested out some lighter titles like Asphalt 9 or Call of Duty Mobile on medium settings and it ran fairly well with only occasional stuttering. If you're looking to play graphically intensive games at high settings, you might just notice some lags. The Redmi 14C runs on HyperOS, which is based on Android 14. HyperOS has always been a bit heavy with features, and you can get some nice extra features like dual apps, second space, and dark mode. The interface is smooth, but it's worth noting that HyperOS have a fair amount of bloatware. Thankfully, you can uninstall most of them and you might need to manually turn off of the ads of some of the apps. Here are some of its benchmark scores. Here's some gaming performance. Next up, let's dive into the cameras. The Redmi 14C has a dual camera setup on its back, featuring a 50 megapixel main camera sensor and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now, a 50 megapixel sensor in this price range is pretty impressive, and it allows for detailed shots in well-lit conditions. In daylight, the camera captures vibrant colors and sharp details. The 50 megapixel sensor does a great job of producing crisp, clear images, especially for casual use. The depth sensor, while it's not amazing, helps with the portrait shots, adding a bit of a background blur. It's not perfect, but it works better than some other budget phones that I've tested. When it comes to low light, the Redmi 14C's camera struggles a bit. There's noticeably a noise in photos and details starts to blur. However, in general lighting conditions, the camera performs quite well for its price. Battery life on Redmi 14C is really impressive for a budget device. It comes with 5160 mAh battery capacity, and with moderate use you can easily get through a full day. I tested it with social media, video streaming like gaming, and some occasionally browsing, and it still have enough juice left by the end of the day. If you're a light user, you can even stretch it to a day and a half, which is awesome. It does have a fast charging as well, up to 18 watts, to top quickly the battery if you're out of juice. For other features, it doesn't have a lot, but it does have a lot of features that even flagship phones don't have. Like, it does have a headphone jack. So if you have any headphones, you can use this on this phone. It does have also a micro SD slot if you needed more storage. So to wrap up things, the Redmi 14C is a solid choice for anyone on a budget. You can get a large 120Hz display with a decent performance, a 50 megapixel camera, and impressive battery life, all at an affordable price point. It's not perfect, the camera struggles in low light, and it's not the fastest phone for heavy tasks, but for the price, it offers fantastic value. It does have different pricing options from 4 to 6 to 8 GB of RAM up to 256 GB of storage. The one that I got here is a 6 GB of RAM with 128 GB of storage, which is only around 5,500 pesos, which is below 100 US dollars. So you can get it for around 4,000 for the lower base model to 6,000 pesos. So probably around 100 US dollars, depending on the variation. I put also the link in the description where you can purchase it. If you're someone who needs reliable phone for basic tasks like gaming and media consumption, the Redmi 14C should be at the top of your list. It gives you great performance where it counts without breaking the bank. So that is my review of the Redmi 14C in 2025. So thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see you soon. Peace out.